human who is obsessed with blood elves, and we can see this with his lovely dress and his tent decorations. Harry even has a girlfriend named Melania, who he will only talk to if she wears a blood elf mask. Silvermoon Harry would later return in the Battle for Azeroth expansion and help in establishing Fort Victory for the Alliance, with the assumption that he would be working with blood elves. Instead, it was blood trolls. Over here at Westguard Keep, we have a rare case of the Alliance being the bad guys. This is one of the only locations where we have an Alliance-controlled Zeppelin that was stolen from a goblin named Harrowmiser. Now locked in chains, the goblin is forced to yell out the schedule for the ship. Where does it travel to? Nowhere. Literally nowhere. It just goes in a giant circle over this glacier. Does anyone want to tell the Alliance that we are in a life or death war with the Lich King, and maybe going on cute little sightseeing trips is not the best idea right now? Well, thankfully in the War Crimes book, Harrowmiser is broken out of his imprisonment and uses his Zeppelin to help in the process of breaking out Garrosh Hellscream from his trap. Down below the crust of the earth, we can find one of the dark secrets of the Howling Fjord. The Whisper Gulch is a haunted excavation site that has driven the Dwarven miners insane. Within the gulch, you can hear such whispers as, "They're coming for you. You are a pawn in forces unseen. There is no escape. Not in this life, not in the next." One would assume these are whispers from the old lands, specifically Yogg-Saron. But these whispers could also be an evil mastermind called the Jailer in the Shadowlands expansion, who has meticulously planned many events in the Warcraft universe, and perhaps this was all planned from the... Nah, these whispers are incredibly vague, and you could say they came from anyone. Okay, let's just talk about the Tuskar. Tuskar are one of the more peaceful races you find in Northrend. They typically section themselves off into tribes containing multiple families and spend most of their time fishing from the sea, surviving in this hostile cold climate. They engrave intricate carvings on their tusks to display the family they came from or the great deeds they have accomplished. Also, all Tuskar have mustaches. Yes, even the female. But there are no female models in-game. So we found out about the mustachioed female Tuskar in the folks and fairy tales of Azeroth. But here's the deal. There are female Tuskar voice lines in the game right now, but they're never actually used in the game, which is a shame because this voice actress, she is giving it her all.
Let us trade for our prosperity. I have much to offer. Oh, your coin is valuable even out here.
The gods we know the Tuskar worship are called Teyutka, who's a female spirit and is the goddess of shelter, Islaruk, who is the god of war, that's an eagle, and Oachinoa, who is the goddess of wisdom. Now, Oachinoa is a giant sea monster players can summon in the quest Conversing with the Depths, who is assumed to be a wild god, and really the only Tuskar god we see in-game. The final god I want to talk about is named Karkut, who's the god of death. In the next expansion, we know the Tuskar are returning from the Dragonflies, and this god of death would be a perfect way to naturally slide in Shadowlands lore into the greater universe of Warcraft. Will this actually happen, or will Blizzard just flat out ignore all of the lore that they have built up in Shadowlands and pretend like it doesn't exist? Time will tell. Other than that, there isn't that much depth to the Tuskar that is interesting. But like I said, in the next expansion Dragonflight, the Tuskar will return with female Tuskar. And hopefully we get some more interesting lore about them. But that's for another time. So, let's take this giant turtle over to our next zone called Dragonblight. Dragonblight is one of the zones within Northrend with an extensive history, and probably one of the more significant and haunting locations is the Forgotten Shore. Quick little backstory here. After the zombies infected Strathhome, Arthas killed all of them, and then Mal'Ganis shows up and says, "Hee hee, follow me to Northrend." Arthas responded by saying,
I'll hunt you to the earth. You hear me? To the ends of the earth!
and he meant it. He traveled to Northrend with a small army of soldiers. Now, originally in Warcraft 3, Arthas landed in Howling Fjord, but during Wrath of the Lich King, it was changed to Dragonblight instead. He spent some time killing Scourge in Northrend looking for Mal'Ganis, but an emissary from Lordaeron showed up, telling Arthas that his mentor Luther and his father, King Tyrannus Menethil, are ordering him and his men to return home.
No one orders me around. I will be twice the king my father was, and 3 times the dancer. I take my leave of you. Goodbye.
Arthas' soldiers wanted to go home because they felt like they were kind of just wasting their time in this frigid hellscape, but Arthas was so obsessed with stopping Mal'Ganis that he hired mercenaries to destroy the ships they arrived in, leaving them stranded in Northrend. Then Arthas and his men showed up, accused the mercenaries of doing this by their own free will, and killed them all. This is just one of the many grievous acts Arthas committed in his downward spiral to becoming a Lich King. Arthas would later abandon his men in Northrend, leaving them to suffer slow agony.
Not ready yet.
When we return to the Forgotten Shore, we can now see that it's populated by the haunted ghosts of Arthas' army, who, even in undeath, are trying to desperately return home.
Why doesn't anyone want to ride on the same boat with me? It's not like I plan on burning the boat or anything. Okay, I'll burn the boat.
And as most of you know, Dragonblight is the focal point for dragons. This sacred land is where all dragons travel to instinctively to die, which explains the plethora of bones that surround the zone. Surrounding the Wormrest Temple are 5 different dragon shrines, representing the 5 different flights. The Bronze Dragonflight Shrine is a warm oasis that is a preserved pocket of a past time in Northrend's history, when it had a sunny and warm climate. Here we can find the Bronze Dragonflight in an endless fight with the Infinite Dragonflight. At the Green Dragon Shrine, Ysera be sleeping. At the Azure Dragon Shrine, there's a powerful font of arcane power. At the Ruby Dragon Shrine, there's a large crimson oak in the middle that was formed by a single drop of Alexstras's blood that melted into the snow. And lastly, we have the Obsidian Dragon Shrine, which is my favorite because, well, have you ever actually been in here before? It's crazy. This place is gigantic and pretty much just a bunch of reused assets from Ragefire Chasm, but still, it's an entire sprawling dungeon in the open world that honestly I never knew even existed. There's also these magma pillars, but they kind of just look like poop. Here in Winterguard Keep, the Alliance are in the front lines of combat against the Scourge and their
Flying Death Fortress.
called Naxxramas that has barely changed since we saw it in Classic. Leading the charge is High Commander Halford Wormbane. He is the 7th Legion High Commander, former Knight of the Silver Hand, and overall badass. While deployed in Winterguard Keep, he soon learned that spies from the Cult of the Dam lived amongst his troops, and had them all executed and had their bodies strung up in front of the keep to bait out local ravenous ghouls from hiding. High Commander Halford leads players on a long quest chain that has them delve into the heart of Scourge operations in the crypts below, and one of the leaders of this operation is Ambo Cash. He has no pants. Within these crypts are these funky low polygon gnome models that are just beating the shit out of these Forsaken guys. To my knowledge, the only other place we find NPCs that use these ancient models is within Naxxramas itself.
The chill you feel is the herald of your doom.
But the real reason why we're in this haunted maze is to kill a lich named Thelzan the Duskbringer. This lich was previously named Inigo Montoy, who players gave Kel'Thuzad's phylactery to in Classic. Little did we know that he was an agent of the Scourge and returned the phylactery to Arthas, and was turned into a lich himself. And this is ultimately the reason why we see Naxxramas and Kel'Thuzad return again in Wrath of the Lich King.
You completely forgot to look for my phylactery.
Fools.
Now players have to right their wrongs and fight Thelzan, and when they engage him in combat, he says, "My name is Inigo Montoy. You killed my lich. Prepare to die." Okay, no, he doesn't say that, but it would be funny if he did. Over on the other side of the zone is a horde base called Agmar's Hammer, led by Overlord Agmar himself. Agmar played a large role in having the Tonka become a part of the horde. To be honest, there really is no lore about the Tonka other than the bison-flavored Taran that live in the snow. I mean, they didn't even give female Tonka new models. Anyways, Overlord Agmar would later return in the Isle of Conquest battleground, with High Commander Halford Wormbane being his counterpart, which is the commander I referenced earlier in this video. But the real reason why I wanted to talk about Agmar's Hammer is to talk about what lurks within the spire of the fortress, to show something that represents the true brutality of the Horde. It's an orphanage, but not just any orphanage, it's the shittiest orphanage in all of Azeroth. Here we find 7 Tonka babies just left on a wooden floor. Clearly, the Blizzard developer who decorated this place wanted to spend the least amount of effort possible when designing it. Other things located within Dragonblight are the Nerubians, the Scarlet Crusade, and the dragon stuff, which I'm going to skip over because I've already made videos about all 3 that went into excruciating detail. Link down below. So, let's travel to our next zone called Boring Tundra. No, wait, it's called Borean Tundra.
Need more rage.
Borean
not
Tundra
rage.
is a frozen
ability
wasteland
isn't
that's
rage.
true to its name because... yeah, no, it's actually pretty boring. But that doesn't mean that there isn't some interesting stuff in the zone. Alliance players will land in Valiant's Keep, where they are dealing with an unending Nerubian assault. But the more dangerous foes are hiding within their defenses. Cult of the Damned members lurk behind every corner within their fortress, and not even their leadership is safe. The captain of the keep is a man named General Arlos, but his advisor, Counselor Talbot, is not who he says he is. In reality, he is Prince Valinar, overlord of the Scourge in the Borean Tundra, who is pulling the strings behind the scenes. During one of the final quests in the zone for Alliance players, we find out that he has mind-controlled General Arlos and a woman named Larissa, and brings them to the top of his flying death fortress called the Naxxramas.
My liege, the infiltration and control of the Alliance power structure by our cultists is well underway. The power you've bestowed upon me has granted me great influence over human minds. I bear these offerings as proof of my progress.
During this cinematic quest, we kill the prince, but death is never the end for a member of the Scourge. During the Ice Crown Citadel raid, Valinar returns in the Blood Princess fight, where he says,
Naxxramas was merely a setback.
This is an obvious reference to Kael'thas Sunstrider, who has a popular meme phrase in the community where he goes,
But Tempest Keep was merely a setback.
These two characters have absolutely nothing in common. Blizzard just wanted to make a random reference. Okay, back to Valiant's Keep. Okay, there's just one last thing I have to mention, okay? And it's the Alliance's horrible interior design skills. Okay, look in this inn, we got 1 picture of canyons, 2 pictures of canyons, 3 pictures of canyons, 4 pictures of canyons. Look, guys, it's okay to take more than 3 seconds to decorate a place, okay? Over here at Fizz Crank Airstrip, I'm going to mention something super quick.
Have a good
so
one.
the main narrative of this part of the zone is that there's an evil mechanome named Gear Master Mechazod, who is trying to turn all of the gnomes into cyborg robots to return them to their robotic selves before the Curse of Flesh. But that is literally the exact same concept used in the story for Mechagon in Battle for Azeroth. Like, the exact same, except these
What can I
robotic
do for
gnomes
you?
are different, but are also called gnomes. They just look a lot weirder. Hey, nobody reads quest text, so I guess you can just reuse the same narrative, right? Alright, I saved the most memorable faction for last. Within this raised hunter encampment, the members of the nature preservation group called Deta convene. DETA stands
How
for
are
the
you?
Druids of Ethical and Humane Treatment
Safe
of
travel.
Animals, and they are an aggressive group of druids willing to stop at nothing to deal with the mistreatment of animals within the zone. The quests they give you involve hunting down crazed poachers, but if you kill any animals around the camp, you will be covered in innocent animal blood. And if you dare wander towards the DETA camp, they will attack you on sight. So, one way to cleanse yourself of your animal killing sins is to jump in a body of water and wash off all of that baby animal blood. Now, I saved the best lore for last. Over here at the Winterven village, there is a DETA member in a Murloc suit named King Murgle, who is trying to study the Murlocs from afar. But after a Makura named Calaxmus decimated their Murloc home, they made King Murgle their new ruler. Also, we never find the king out of his suit, so I'm pretty sure he is the only canonical furry in the Warcraft universe. We later find King Murgle in the Cataclysm, helping in Hyjal when doing the Protectors of Hyjal daily quest. Then we find him in Legion, helping another Murloc tribe called the Murloc tribe. Yeah, creative name there. But, oh, in Battle for Azeroth, we find the king in Nazjatar, where he has an entire restaurant called Murgle's Bar and Gill, and it's filled with Murloc patrons, and oh my, just look at it. Oh my, it's beautiful. Yeah, no, we're ending the video here.
It's too far away.
So, the Scarlet Crusade. I love the Scarlet Crusade. That's like, you know, quintessential
Can you not
WoW.
see it? Brothers and sisters, there is but one way to wipe the scourge from the face of Azeroth.
What's that?
The Scarlet Crusade offers you the protection that you so desperately desire. And if you pledge yourselves to us, surely we will reach our ultimate goal.
Who will match me? Who will match me? I'm donating $10. Who will match me? Oh my god, that's the first thing I think of.
Defy us, and you will be dispatched in a blaze of golden light, unlike any you have ever witnessed.
What, they're gonna kill this guy just because he's in a black metal band? That seems a little bit unfair. Wow.
The Scarlet Crusade is one of the more unique enemies you'll face while exploring Azeroth.
Yep.
On the outside, they might seem like your normal group of everyday paladins, but in truth, they are a vengeful group of fanatic worshippers of the light who destroy all who don't share their radical views.
Yeah.
Their history is one of sympathetic origins, but the corruption and the inevitable downfall of their crusade was all because of the underlying deceit within the heart of their organization.
See, that's what was cool, right? Is it was actually all by a dreadlord,
I'm out
but
of range.
everybody knew, like you knew that in game. That was fucking badass.
First, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Okay.
Keeps. Look, dudes, because most of you are dudes. Did you know that 2 out of 3 dudes experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35?
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, Keeps can help prevent those precious hairs from falling off your head
What's that
with
one?
their FDA-approved medication for hair loss. The best thing about Keeps is you can get treated right from the comfort of your own home by signing up online and getting connected with a doctor who helps you in your mission to restore your luscious locks. And remember, it's important to act fast, as the sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you can save. If you're ready to take action and prevent
Wait,
hair
this video came out 5 months ago. I'm too late. It came out 2 months ago. 5 months ago. I'm fucked, man.
loss, go to keeps.com/platinum or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order.
I
That
think this is probably the smartest ad they've ever done.
Looking for something
Like,
specific?
targeting the World of Warcraft audience for hair loss products. I mean, this is like, I mean, fuck, bro. Like,
See you later.
this is like going to a rave and selling Molly. Like, everybody there is like, that's your target audience. They're all right there. Holy shit.
keeps.com/platinum.
Yeah, very funny.
The Third War has just concluded on Azeroth.
Okay.
The Kingdom of Lordaeron has been totally destroyed by the Scourge after the kingdom's prince, Arthas Menethil, betrayed his people and allied with the undead and killed his own father and
that
his
was-
mentor Uther. The group of paladins called the Knights of the Silver Hand was disbanded, but these crusaders continue to fight to defend fortified settlements where survivors cling to life. One of these paladins was a mountain of a man named Saidan Dathrohan, who was one of the original founders of the Knights of the Silver Hand.
Oh, shit.
Dathrohan's significance is not because of his accomplishments, but because of his defeat. During an incursion into the burning city of Stratholme, Dathrohan...
What a surprise. Paladin died. Oh my god. Like, how is it that, like, every notable paladin in the entire history of paladins... Like, okay, let's think about all of the paladins, okay? So, you have Uther, literally defeated by Arthas before he even became the Lich King. Alright, number one. Tyrion killed the Lich King, alright, that's pretty good, but tied to a fucking mid-level tier boss. You have, let's see, who are the other paladins? Varian, fucking, what's his name? Not Tyrion, Turallion, gets his sword blocked by Illidan. It's like, literally every single paladin, the main thing you know about them is the fact that they lost a battle. Bolvar Fordragon. I don't think he was really a paladin, but yeah, he turned into the Lich King. Damn, man. Like, every single one.
was separated from his fellow paladins.
Damn.
He could cut down the undead with ease, but there was more than shambling zombies in this cursed city.
Know that I am Balnazar. Know that you are but a pawn in plans beyond your reckoning. You cannot fight my will.
True.
You are mine. You are out of your league, Paladin.
I need to turn that into a fright. Look at that. Oh, let's just...
You are out of your league, Paladin.
God damn, bro. Like, that, dude, that is true. Let me tell you something. That's fucking true.
Saidan Dathrohan had fallen right into the Dreadlord Balnazar's trap.
Do you want a duel?
The demonic math.
Log in.
What?
Log in, let's duel.
Well, you have better gear than I do right now.
No, I don't. It's not that much better. Log
Yeah,
in.
it is. Oh, no, it fucking is better.
Log in, and
Okay,
let's duel.
all right, here. Give me an example of a paladin whose main plot...
You're such a
Give me an
coward.
example
You
of
are.
a-
You will gladly sit up here in front of all
Yeah?
these thousands of people talking all this shit, but you won't duel me.
That's
because you're a pussy.
Because
you're a coward.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
Point
a warrior.
proven,
I'm a
bitch.
warrior. No, let's.
Yeah, and warriors are literally stupid and idiotic. Warriors graduate to paladins. Do you understand that?
No.
Like, you have to graduate to be a paladin.
That's not true at all.
Anybody, literally anybody, can pick up a fucking stick and swinging around. Oh, blade storm, blade storm. Not everybody can be a paladin, okay? Paladin
Because they
requires.
don't want to be.
No, it's because they can't. Because being a paladin requires, okay?
What does it require?
Some sacrifice, okay? Not on the level of demon hunters, okay?
Yeah, well, they sacrifice them all the time. That's why every paladin dies.
Buddy, I literally have a blessing called Blessing of Sacrifice, okay?
Yeah, it makes you take damage.
Yes.
Need more rage.
Yeah, you used to have divine intervention too. What did that do?
It literally saved the life of an ally.
It literally kills your character. That's what paladins do. It's built into the. It's literally coded into the game that paladins kill themselves.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. You die, but you save your friends.
Who did?
Maybe you know what? Trust me, buddy.
Go ahead.
Sacrificing something for your friends is not something you will ever understand, bitch.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about this. Sacrifices. Uther died to Arthas of no consequence. Tyrion died to Croesus of no consequence. Turalyon got his sword blocked by Illidan, and it was of absolutely no consequence. Like, I feel like after that cinematic came out, people probably stopped making paladins. Like, that was it. Like, nobody, like, all right, they saw what that has to offer. Well, fuck that. Jesus.
Mastermind's ultimate plan was to possess his body and infiltrate the Order of Paladins and pull the strings behind the scenes.
Because the Paladins wouldn't know the difference because they're stupid.
And destroy them from within.
I've been waiting for you, Paladin. Know that I will rip the soul from your flesh and make your body my own.
Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
As Balnazar infiltrated their defenses, a paragon of light traveled from the west. High Lord Alexandros Mograine.
I want to say that I'm pretty sure there's no evidence of Alexandros Mograine ever actually using holy power. It was only the sword that had holy damage in it. So Alexandros Mograine was basically a warrior. He was, and whenever he shows up in the event in Vanilla WoW, what armor is he wearing? What armor is he wearing? Full Dreadnought. The Warrior Tier 3 armor. He has a weapon. Yes, he is a warrior with a holy weapon. So this is the greatest paladin that they all look up to, was actually just a warrior.
Was one of the original founders of the Knights of the Silver Hand.
Yup.
Armed with a holy artifact called the Ashbringer, the paladin could cleave entire armies of undead in twain and leave only ash in his wake.
Yup.
I cannot stress enough how much of a badass Mograine was. He was like the Master Chief of Paladins,
yes,
who was a beacon of light.
And he was the Master Chief of Paladins, and he was a warrior. That's exactly right.
For the downtrodden people of Lordaeron. He became such a legend that he was simply referred to as...
You actually are coping. You are actually coping if you think that. You're actually coping.
Okay.
That unironically, like, if they could put the copium emote in chat, they would do that right now, because that's what this is.
Then explain to me why he was wearing the Warrior Tier 3 armor.
Because, I don't know, the devs are fucking stupid. But that doesn't mean... I can go to the fucking auction... I can go to the Black Mark auction house right now and buy it and wear it.
Yeah, but that was before that patch came out.
Okay, so now you're using in-game mechanics to explain why you think he's a warrior instead of a paladin. Even though...
It was not... It was an in-game decision. He was clearly a warrior. That's why he was wearing Warrior Tier 3 gear.
Dude! Paladins are literally upgraded warriors!
He had a sword. It's like whenever it's like...
You're trolling me.
It's like an Elden Ring. Whenever I had the fucking polearm. And it had holy damage.
Am I being trolled?
That's like the Ashbringer.
I think
I wasn't casting any spells. I wasn't a paladin. I didn't have any points in faith. Well, actually, I put 3. But that was...
No, you're not serious. You're not serious. You are not a serious person. If you think Alexandros Mograine was a warrior and not a paladin, even though he was one of the people that founded the fucking thing, the Knights of the Silver Hand, and you think he's a warrior?
Where's him ever using a paladin spell?
Oh my god. Like, what do you want him to do?
Something.
What is it?
Anything.
He literally torches undead into ashes.
That's right, with his warrior abilities. What is Wake of Ashes? It's a cleave. Warriors cleave.
Really?
Paladins had no AoE abilities. They didn't get AoE abilities for 3D expansions.
Can you do, on your warrior in-game, can you do Wake of Ashes?
Well, no, because I don't have the Ashbringer.
Okay, so you admit then, because I can do it, I just
pressed it. Because you have the Ashbringer.
Yeah, I just pressed it. You know why? You know why I was able to use that ability? Because I'm a fucking paladin.
No, it's because you have the Ashbringer. It's not because you're paladin.
No,
anybody could use that.
It's because I'm a paladin and so was Alexander Mograine. You fucking clown.
What do you guys think? Am I right about this? The paladin with warrior gear that never casts paladin spells? Like, McConnell's right. No, you're definitely wrong. No, I'm not.
See?
No, I'm not.
See, dumbass, everybody disagrees with you.
He was a warrior, guys. Like, and also, like, look at him in Maldraxxus. You see him casting...
Go look up his Wikipedia page. Go look it up.
That could be wrong. Like, that could be wrong. But, like...
Oh my God. So, just ignore every piece of any lore that's given to you and just only accept what you believe is true. And how are you any different than a fucking SJW again?
All right. Let's see. We've got a poll here. No, I mean, guy.
Look at the poll. Look at the poll. Look at the poll.
Oh my god. This is a fake poll. Like, no, man. Like, no, it's not 71% think he's a paladin. He's not a paladin, man. He's not a fucking paladin. Like, are you kidding me? God damn it. All right, I'll get back to the video. This...
Go party.
Fuck!
The Ashbringer. The Ashbringer also had 2 sons. One was named Darian, who has the most anime haircut in all of Warcraft, but more on him later. The other son was named Renault.
That was the dumb guy.
Who was taught the ways of the Paladin under Satan Dathrohan.
Oh.
Over time, Satan Dathrohan, aka Balnazar, manipulated Renault. He preyed on his insecurities, knowing that he would always live in the shadow of his father.
True.
Renault is, and always will be, a lowly foot soldier.
Yep.
A simple follower, and not a leader like his father. But Satan offered him a proposition. If Renault was to kill his own father, he would be promoted to be a commanding officer in his order of paladins, and be granted the glory he justly deserved. Hey, I think you should kill your dad. Okay.
God damn, that was easy. Holy shit. So that's all it took? You got fooled.
That was surprisingly easy.
Renault then lied to his father, telling him that his brother Darian was trapped within Strathhome and needed to be rescued.
What?
Alexandros Mograine and his advisor Fairbanks traveled to the
that's
burning
Fairbanks?
city, only to be overwhelmed by Scourge forces.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that.
Come on, we gotta hurry up. We gotta find Darian. Come on, okay. More damage, yes.
Oh no!
I need heals. No, by the way, he DC'd. Okay. We gotta just hurry up, we gotta time this. Quick.
Oh my god.
This is just like finding Nemo, except with all more zombies.
One epic battle later. Wait, oh.
The High Lord fell to the ground, exhausted after obliterating every vile creature that stood in his wake. But it was at this moment the High Lord's son delivered the ultimate betrayal.
Wow.
This act of pure evil and resentment corrupted the Ashbringer, turning it into a weapon of hatred instead of retribution. Renault fled, returning to the town of Hearthglen to tell everyone of the death of the Ashbringer.
Holy shit, I did not know. Like, I thought definitely a paladin, a warrior would have succeeded. Yeah, wait, why didn't he take... Yeah, he should have taken the sword, man. Damn. Dreadnought armor was originally Mograin's personal suit of paladin armor. Warriors modeled their armor after his death? No, that's not true. That sounds like bullshit to me. No. Nope.
So there's the Ashbringer, and there's a bunch of zombies, and the zombies were like, "Blah!" And the Ashbringer went, "Blah!" And then there was an abomination guy, and he went, "Blah!" And then he went,
and they got him.
Ashbringer died. And yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, that's terrible.
Some of the paladins were quite skeptical, to say the least. Satan had been acting quite suspicious recently, and this tall tale didn't really seem to add up. It was you, Renault, that killed Alexandros. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. The Ashbringer thrust right through your father's back.
Oh my god. Wait, he got called out like that?
Not see the puppet show? Clearly it was the... I know what I saw, you traitorous bastard! Fairbanks barging in and spilling this truth was the final straw for half of the Order of Paladins, and they left instantly. They went to go create a new order that wasn't led by such sketchy and fanatic leaders like Satan and Renault. The ones that stayed decided that they'd just quarantine Fairbanks, who is now deemed as unclean and insane. And by quarantine, I mean they executed him and threw him in a secret chamber in the cathedral. From this point...
Holy shit, I actually didn't even know that. Wow, so that's how he got there. Oh my god. That's actually crazy, I had no idea.
Onwards, the priests, paladins, and all other followers of the light separated themselves into two different organizations.
Okay.
The ones that really didn't trust Satan Datherhan left and called themselves the Argent Dawn, led by Lord Maxwell Tyrosus. This organization is accepting of all outsiders, whether they be Horde, Alliance, or even Forsaken, and their main goal is to establish peace and destroy the Scourge.
Yeah.
The other group is called the Scarlet Crusade, led by Satan Datherhan. This organization is extremely against any outsiders, especially if they aren't humans.
Okay.
Rather than establish peace, their main goal is to reclaim the ruined lands of Lordaeron once again and deliver retribution to the monsters that surround them. Satan made sure that he struck fear.
I actually like the Scarlet Crusade, to be honest. I think they've got some good points. We should hear what they have to say. Yeah, I think they've got a good perspective on things. To be honest, guys, this looks just about right. I agree.
Fear and paranoia into his followers, warning them that any outsiders could be unclean and could be secretly carrying the plague of undeath. Showing mercy to them would only pull them further away from their goal of eradicating all evil from Lordaeron.
So they're killing gnomes too. That's great. Yeah, this is crazy.
Heathen!
Oh.
Now, clearly the Scarlet Crusade are
All
not
right.
really good people, but let's look at this from their perspective.
Okay.
You are a citizen of Lordaeron.
Right.
You had your entire family killed by zombies and your life destroyed.
That sucks.
A plague wiped through your whole kingdom that came from infected grain of all things.
Yeah.
So I mean, how could you not be nervous about other ways the plague could be transferred?
That makes sense.
I mean, the enemy you're fighting also has
Flying death fortresses.
That is a pretty strong argument that they're the bad guys. Yeah, I would definitely agree. Absolutely.
So who knows what unholy tricks they might have up their sleeve. Also, keep in mind that some citizens were saved and converted into the Scarlet Crusade. And if we simply just look at the map in Classic, the Scarlet Crusade are the only ones getting shit done around here. They have 3 different fortified bases all around Lordaeron. Dawn has a shitty camp and an even shittier rundown church. This
Wait, yeah, that actually is kind of true. Yeah, the Scarlet Crusade is actually chilling. Not so bad after all. Yeah, exactly. Not too bad.
isn't about being morally good for some members of the Scarlet Crusade. This is about survival. Also, their beloved capital city that was a deeply religious and known place of worship of the light was taken over by zombies that look exactly like the ones that destroyed it in the first place. As a living human, how can you be okay with that? But also,
I wasn't, and I thought that we should have fucking attacked Lordaeron a long time ago and gotten Sylvanas out of there. This was our fucking city. This was our shit. This was our fucking city. And then I don't know what happened, but we just decided to just pussy out and never do that. Like, that's the Forsaken half of them. Like, fuck them, kill them, get them out of here. I could go somewhere else.
From the Forsaken's perspective, who live in the capital city,
Get rid
they
of them.
too are citizens of Lordaeron, who have retained all their memories from when they were alive and are now treated as monsters, and this is the only place
That's
they
the way it
really
goes.
can live. This is what makes the Scarlet Crusade such an interesting villain in WoW. They are a group of people who, from their perspective, have pretty reasonable motivations to avenge their kingdom,
I can
but have
see
been
that.
pushed and manipulated into paranoia and desperation that made them lose grasp of reality and
Ability
turn
isn't ready
into
yet.
villains on Azeroth.
To be fair, it was all just a Dreadlord pulling the strings, let's be honest.
Not ready yet. Not enough rage.
Oh, shit.
Now that we know
Is
the
it Jailer?
insidious origins of the
did this.
Crusade, let's go through each expansion in WoW and learn how the Scarlet Crusade was ultimately defeated.
I need to get
First,
closer.
What the
let's
fuck?
start with the and get to know the leaders of the Scarlet Monastery and their nefarious deeds.
Okay.
Tell me everything.
Within the dark depths of the Interrogator Vicious is known for unleashing his unrelenting sadism and cruel expertise against the enemies of the Crusade.
Yeah, he's basically a
There's quest
torture
that
guy.
involves him stealing a wedding ring from one of his torture subjects and giving it to his own wife, which is just, oh, so incredibly evil. Interrogator
Damn.
Vicious also makes an appearance within the Brawlers Guild, and the announcer will yell, "Well, wrap me in leather and tug my leash. It's Dungeon Master
I'm
Vicious."
out of range.
So,
I wonder if they changed that one. Yeah, I wonder if they changed that one.
I need to
Holy
get
shit.
closer. Not ready yet.
do with that information what you will.
Cancel true.
Houndmaster Locks trains his savage hounds
too
of the
far
Crusade
away.
to sneak out the stream and
I
hold
can't
them
do that.
down within the forests of Tirisfal Glades.
Not enough rage.
will not defile these mysteries.
Within the library,
I remember this guy, bro. Whenever you got level 34, this guy was all you wanted to kill whenever you were a caster. Like, he dropped the staff, he dropped the chest piece. There were so many caster items this guy had. Holy fuck, bro. Like, that staff was the biggest fucking staff. Oh my god. Is that tabard available? Which one? This one? No.
Master Mage Arcanus Doan combs over his tomes and teaches the
Epic
fellow
Rain
mages
too.
Ability isn't
master
ready
the
It's like
yet.
use of the
super low
arcane
top chance.
to destroy the undead.
Ah, I've been waiting for a real challenge.
Within the Hall of Champions, Herod is, I'll be honest, Herod is literally just a shirtless guy with an axe who says, "Blades of light." But what's really interesting is the room he's in, which is called the Hall of Champions. Here we can see a bunch of different statues of slain or missing members of the Crusade. What's confusing though is there are statues of elves and dwarves, which kind of goes against the whole ethos of the Crusade in the first place.
Yeah,
It's
so having massive plot holes and everything you doing not making sense, this is not new. It's pretty much always been like this. Yeah, it's always been like this. There's always been bullshit like this, and it's like, what about this? Like, I remember, like, there was one time, I think Jesse Cox went to the thing, and there was this giant tail of a monster in Gundrag. And he's like, so what is that? And, like, I think it was Chris Metzer was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what that is. And he's like, yeah, I knew you'd say that. I've got a picture. And he pulls up a picture of it, and he's like, wow, that's crazy. Damn. And we put that in the game? And Jesse's like, yeah. He's like, wow. Well, ain't that something? Well, next question. That was about it.
Even funnier about this place is the names of the people and how uncreative they are. We got Valia Twin
Just
Blades.
do crazy stuff, don't they?
He's got 2 blades. We got Invar one arm. He's got 1 arm. We got Yana Blood Spear. He's got a spear.
Okay.
We got... Oh, wait, hold on. Whoa.
Wait, what the fuck?
Wrong universe. But one of the more interesting ones is Halia's Sunshield, who's got a shield. But what's interesting about her is the plaque for the statue says that she died slaying a dreadlord named Belthris. And what's interesting is that this dreadlord named Belthris returned 13 years later in-game as a mob Gul'dan summons during the Nighthold raid in Legion.
Holy
which
shit!
I thought is pretty neat. Anyways, back to the Scarlet
God
Crusade.
damn, that's cool.
The leaders of the monastery are located within the cathedral. Renault was given what he was promised and was promoted to Scarlet Commander of the monastery.
Damn.
And watches over it with Sally Whiteman.
Damn.
Together we shall spread the crusade across this land.
Now, I'd love to give you some backstory on who Lady Whitemane is, but she really doesn't have much of a backstory.
She doesn't have to. She's hot. That's it. That's all we need to know. That's literally it. That's all we need to know. Yeah, that's totally it.
Her family was all killed by the Scourge, and she swears to avenge them, which is the same story that a lot of the members of the Crusade have. Despite this, she is easily the most iconic character.
I wonder why.
Because of her qualities?
Yes.
Of course, in-game we go in and we kill all of these
Need more
bosses,
rage.
but that isn't what actually happens lore-wise. What actually happens is depicted in the Ashbringer comics. What happens is Darian Mograine, that anime guy I told you to remember, storms into Naxxramas with the Argent Dawn and kills his father Alexandros Mograine, whose body was resurrected by the Scourge and is now one of the 4 horsemen.
Holy
Darian
shit!
then takes the corrupted Ashbringer
That
and the ghost of Alexandros Mograine decapitates his own son.
No, wait, what?
Players can experience this from Darian's
Holy
perspective
shit!
when they obtain the corrupted Ashbringer Classic and take it to the Scarlet Monastery Cathedral. So lore-wise, Renault is the only guy to die, but everyone else is alive and well.
Okay.
The next expansion that involves the Scarlet Crusade is
I
Wrath of
remember
the Lich
this.
King. And trust me, it isn't pretty. You see, there is a part of the Scarlet City Tier's hand called the Scarlet Enclave, which was completely untouched by the Scourge until now.
Not
The
enough
Lich
rage.
King and his Death Knights these lands in their
Flying Death Fortress.
It is kind of
and laid
crazy,
the
isn't
city
it?
to waste. This is the starting experience for the Death Knights in Wrath of the Lich King. This quest line.
Dude,
was-
I always thought this part of the quest line was really cool. The first time I did it, I was like, wow, this is awesome, because I always felt like the Scarlet Crusade was one of the main like cool features of WoW. You know, it was like the one of the main original protagonists, or sorry, antagonists of the game.
Slowly invade and ultimately wipe out the Scarlet Enclave of all of its members, and the starting zone has some of the most annoying quests in the whole game. Like, you know that one where you have to auto-attack the Scarlet guys with those pokers? Remember that one?
No.
God, the starting zone sucks.
No, I don't remember that at all.
The Enclave is being invaded. High General Bridget Abendus, daughter of one of the original founders of the Scarlet Crusade, claimed to have a vision from the light itself. The vision told her that she should take her most devoted followers and journey to Northrend to continue their mission to purify all undead. Also, that is where the expansion takes place. That migration would be known as the Crimson Dawn. It would revive the crusade to new, glorious heights. The group of devoted followers were renamed to the Scarlet Onslaught and set sail for Northrend.
This was badass. Okay.
In Northrend, they established...
Dude, I remember there was another place in Ice Crown where they were at, and it looked so cool, man. It was one of the most badass zones in the game.
Multiple bases, the main two being New Hearthglen and the Onslaught Harbor. The Onslaught Harbor easily being one of the top 5 most underrated locations in all of WoW because of just so out of the way it is from everything else.
Yeah, I don't know why they were down there.
The priest in me likes when you confess your sins, but the Inquisitor in me likes to punish you.
Oh my god.
Not enough rage.
Oh my god. I didn't even know that was in the game. What the fuck?
Commander! I see someone on the shore.
Need more rage.
By the light. Is that Admiral Westwind?
Wait, what?
On the shores of Northrend, Scarlet member Admiral Barrion
get
Westwind. He was the captain of a previous Scarlet ship that sailed to Northrend years ago and was presumably long dead. There's even a statue for him in the Hall of Champions back in the Scarlet Monastery.
That's cool.
Admiral Westwind assured his fellow Crusaders that he was the only one to survive on the ship and simply wanted to pledge himself to be an advisor for High General Bendis. Besides, he had been surviving in this hellish tundra for years, so surely he knew a thing or two about... Just kidding, you son of a bitch. It was actually the Dreadlord Mal'Ganis.
I am Mal'Ganis. I am eternal.
So the Scarlet Onslaught was deceived.
Wait, why did he do
far
that?
away.
What the hell is he doing this for?
That
What the hell?
ability
What
isn't
the
ready
fuck?
A second time.
They're so
by
stupid.
Mal'Ganis manipulated his way to the ranks.
Wow.
The real reason for the Scarlet Onslaught's involvement in Northrend ultimately being a failure was because of the overwhelming might of Horde and Alliance player characters.
Yeah, we just beat the shit out of
I've found that without proper guidance, crusades quickly become onslaughts.
Okay, so let's jump to Cataclysm, where it's more of the same story. The Argent Dawn back in the Plague Lands made the best strategic decision of their life. And they allied with the player character.
That's smart.
I didn't do that yet.
Yeah, we just killed all of them,
was
right?
taken over by the Argent Dawn, and Tyr's hand was still left in ruins after the invasion of Gaza.
Yeah,
Also, Balnazzar was defeated within Stratholme, leaving the Scarlet Monastery as the Crusade's last bastion of hope. During the Cataclysm, they revamped a lot of dungeon quests by putting the quest giver at the start of the dungeon.
Yeah,
and the quest
that helped
giver
a
for
lot.
the Scarlet Monastery Wings is one of my new favorite characters.
What?
It's Joseph the Awakened. You see, Joseph is a part of a group called the Scarlet Renegades.
That
a group
ability
who have
isn't
realized
ready
the
yet.
errors of
Not
their
ready
Crusader
yet.
ways and are attempting to overthrow their ruler.
Okay.
Why not just join the Argent Dawn? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
that
they
would
think
make
they
sense.
just really look good in red.
That's
Anyways,
true, though.
Joseph seems to be having problems of his own, as the further you progress through the dungeon, from Joseph the Awakened to Joseph the Crazed,
What?
and finally, Joseph the Insane, where he's found dancing in the fountain in the cathedral
enough
and has
rage.
the best art of all time in the old World of Warcraft trading card game.
No way, this is true. Is this really true? Like, there's no way. Like, it actually is true. Holy
get
fucking
closer.
shit.
Not ready
I
yet.
thought you were just
Do
goofing
that yet.
around.
That ability isn't ready
You
yet.
can still see it? Holy fuck, I can't believe this. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this on my own.
So during the Cataclysm, lore-wise, is when all of the bosses die, except for Sally Whitemane.
Why does everyone who comes to the Scarlet Monastery want to kill me? out of touch. No, it is the heathens who are wrong.
True.
And in Miss Pandaria, the Scarlet Monastery was revamped. Instead of 4 separate dungeons, it was combined into 2 dungeons instead. The most notable difference is that all of the bosses have been changed, but they're kind of just like off-brand versions of the original bosses. That
Bro,
being said,
like, I hated that boss. Like, that was the dumbest thing. It was, yeah, it was just a scuffed version. Oh my god. The new Scarlet dungeons were okay. I remember, dude, running Scarlet Halls was fucking fun. Back in the day, the challenge mode, it was great. I loved it.
there are some interesting ones, like Flame Weaver Kogler, who is so ashamed by the Scarlet Crusade's embarrassing history, he has taken it
setting
upon
it all on
himself
fire.
to scorch the library and destroy all evidence of their embarrassing past.
Yeah,
Everything must burn. None shall know the Scarlet Crusade's shame.
Also, a lot of these new bosses have like really, really thick accents.
Stupid animals! I'll put you down after I kill these weaklings! My fists are scarlet with your blood! If you die, you die. To think you've come so far, only to perish here.
It's a weird thing in the Warcraft universe
the
because
fuck?
there isn't really a place in the universe where
So they're a bunch of fucking, like, so they're red and they're all, yeah, they're all Russians? Like, what the fuck is this? Jesus, that's a little bit much, isn't it? Russians are bad, apparently.
humans live that have identifiable characteristics of heavy Russian or German accents.
Yeah.
They kind of just have them because they sound cool. The final
That's
boss
true.
fight is still with Lady Whitemane and
It
just
was the
some
same thing.
dude named Commander Duran. We defeat them with the help from Lillian Boss, a complicated character that I can maybe make a video about in the future. We make
Yes.
sure that Sally Whitemane stays dead forever.
Wow.
Okay, so in Legion, the Death Knights fight their way through the Scarlet Monastery and
Again?
resurrect Sally Whitemane
What?
to be one of the 4 horsemen. And
So
she
I was really upset about this because we had an opportunity to have a hot, thick goth girl in the game. Like, you understand that? Like, we did. And then she's wearing this, like, new outfit, and she's not looking the same. And yeah, and she doesn't look the same. She's got, like, that weird fucking like, tumbler haircut now. Like, what the fuck happened, man?
is just surprisingly okay with it after
Yeah.
committing her entire life when she was living to killing undead for some reason. And finally, the Scarlet Crusade had one small cameo in the Battle for Azeroth expansion.
It was a starter
Near
quest,
the
right?
Kalston estate in Tirisfal, there is a collection of pamphlets from a subgroup called the Scarlet Brotherhood, and are filled with insane ramblings and, yeah. Basically, the Scarlet Crusade have kind of just turned into conspiracy theorists. I'll spare you the details.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that happened. Yeah, they straight up took stuff from like Alex Jones. And the way that he talked, and they just put it into the game, and they're like, yeah, that's like the Scarlet Crusade. Like, yeah, basically QAnon. Yeah, the Q Crusade. There you go.
But to sum all of the ramblings up, they think Anduin is an undead-loving traitor who is secretly trying to usurp control over Lordaeron by marrying Callie Menethil.
It's too far
Also,
away.
the Scarlet Brotherhood is to team up with Raymond and kill all of the undead, then kill Raymond.
Okay, that's
The
good.
Brotherhood says that they have secretly been raising the son of Callie Menethil, who will be the new king of Lordaeron. But Callia has a daughter and not a son, so that can't even be true. In the
Well, that doesn't matter because that was it was censored. Yeah, it was censored. That's why they don't know about that.
Exploring Azeroth Eastern Kingdom's book, it is stated that the Crusade was totally wiped out in Legion, and this group called the Scarlet Brotherhood is the only remnant of the Crusade we have left. So the idea of the Scarlet...
I hope they bring them back somehow. I always thought the Scarlet Crusade was really cool, and I thought their armor looked really cool too. So if they bring them back, that would be good because then I could kill them and get their armor. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Crusade ever returning in Warcraft's story is unlikely.
I don't think it'll
They have
happen
been
either.
constantly losing ever since World of Warcraft came out, and their leaders have either been killed or raised into undeath. But what remains are memories of one of the most interesting and iconic factions in all of Warcraft.
The Silver Hand failed, Paladin. Join us. Take up the path of vengeance.
True.
Yes, we get it.
Your congratulations. Can we move this?
Wait, did Uther really say that to her? There's one more, like, shorter, like, Platinum WoW video about Scarlet Crusade. It's 10 minutes. Here we go.
During the war against the Scourge in the Eastern Kingdoms, Crusader Alexandros Mograine wielded a mighty weapon called the Ashbringer.
Right.
With each swing, the paladin cleaved through waves of undead. But, in an act of betrayal, Alexandros was struck down, and his holy weapon forever corrupted.
I didn't
Such
even
a
know it got
loss of a
corrupted that way,
powerful weapon
too.
against the invading undead dealt a massive blow on the Crusades' morale.
You need something?
If they were ever going to purge their lands of the Scourge, they'd need a new weapon. One that would rival the holy power of the Ashbringer. The priests of the Scarlet Crusade banded together to empower the most powerful weapon Azeroth had ever seen. But little did they know, its strength would soon be death.
It's just a stupid little stick. Like, who cares? Eh, who gives a shit about that?
Have a good one.
We watched this 2 days ago? No, we didn't.
What can I do for you?
I would have noticed.
See you later.
Okay. Wait, we did? We watched it? No, we didn't. No, we didn't, because it would be right there. It would be right there at the top. It would be Asmongold Reacts. Yeah, you guys see that? Yeah, you guys are trolling. That, yeah, fucking right, man.
Good day
You guys
to you.
freaked me out.
Have a
Dude,
good
I was
one.
actually thinking, like, wait, what the fuck? Am I
Step
going
on up.
crazy? Holy shit.
See you later.
Okay.
The Scarlet Crusaders had found what they were looking for. A crystal, empowered by pure darkness. Such an artifact would be paramount if they were ever going to create a weapon that matched the power of the Ashbringer.
So this is
You
how
see,
they
the
got it?
Ashbringer's holy powers were imbued by a similar dark crystal that was filled with the powers of the light.
Right.
The violent clash of these two types of magics altered the crystal into one of pure light.
Yeah, that was the
Crystal,
cinematic, or
they
the little
forged
event.
the Ashbringer. Now, the Scarlet Crusade would do the same with a similar dark crystal they obtained in the Plague Lands.
Okay. Yeah, it's Old Hillsbrad. Yep, that's right.
For weeks, a council of 10 priests practiced the ritual to infuse the purified artifact into a weapon. With their holy powers combined, they'd develop a sanctified staff that would be integral in purging their homeland of the vile scourge. But during the moments of the staff's creation, deception intervened.
Oh, there. Wait, it's the same
Satan
guy?
Deathrohan was the
Wait.
leader of the Scarlet Crusade, but in reality, it was actually the Dreadlord Balnazar in
So he
disguise.
fucked this up too.
The weapon was forged. It was unacceptable. If his underlings wielded such a force, it could lead to his identity being unmasked.
Yeah, it would
In
make
an act
sense.
of pure malevolence, the Dreadlord interrupted the ritual with his dark magic.
Okay.
Need more rage.
Jesus Christ.
This violent explosion of holy and dark magic instantly killed the 10 priests. But when the smoke cleared, the artifact, named Light's Wrath, trembled with unstable energies.
That's bad, dude. I had no
Balnazar
idea.
pondered for a moment. The Dreadlord decided that he would not destroy the weapon now. Its unstable power made it less of a threat to him, and he kind of just simply wanted to see the havoc it would cause among his fanatical underlings instead.
So he's like, he just gave them some bullshit and just let them fuck around with it? Oh my god, yeah, it's badass. Like, this will be funny. See what they do with this shit. Oh my god.
Oh, and havoc it did cause.
They're killing
See,
each other over
foolish
it?
members of the Scarlet Crusade would attempt to wield Light's Wrath. They'd raise the staff into the sky, but the artifact's overwhelming power was nearly
Not enough
impossible to
rage.
harness, and the wielder, their allies, and all surrounding undead would be entangled in an unstable blaze of holy light.
So everybody just kills themselves over and
The
over?
dangerous, unstable power of the weapon was something every wielder was knowledgeable of, but the enticing power of such a weapon led all of the Crusaders into a violent, agonizing death.
They're so stupid.
In one recollection,
What?
Grand Inquisitor Isilin stated that at Tyr's hand, the Scourge outnumbered their forces 20 to 1.
That's a lot.
But with Light's Wrath, all of the undead, its wielder, and many of the Scarlet Crusade soldiers were killed in a holy blast. The few soldiers
Friendly
that somehow
fire.
survived the torrent of magic were left absolutely shell-shocked. In the days that followed, these soldiers could not even dress or feed themselves without assistance after
Oh.
what they just saw.
That's like me.
So let's be honest here. Did the Scarlet Crusade members kill themselves in this battle?
I need to get closer.
Yes, but when they ultimately kill all of their enemies in a 20 to 1 battle,
That's pretty good.
you know,
Good ratio.
I think those losses are acceptable. Such a powerful weapon caught the attention of the Kirintor mages from Dalaran.
I would
Specifically
assume
the
so.
mage named Isser, who made it his duty to secure the staff. He tried to track down the weapon to make sure it didn't fall into the wrong hands,
Okay.
but each time Light's Wrath killed its wielder, it didn't take long for another crazed zealot to yoink the staff and try and wield it for themselves. All across the Plague Lands, there were blown out craters of holy destruction from every attempt
Oh
at
my
wielding
God.
Light's Wrath. And it wasn't just used against undead either.
Bro, these guys are stupid as fuck, man. Oh my god.
Not ready yet. Need more rage.
It's just so
I gotta
dumb.
think. I can't do that.
No one expected a Scarlet Inquisition.
Crusaders
no.
attempted to use the staff to purify innocent townspeople
Of course
who the
they
Scarlet
did.
Crusade thought were unclean. And of course, everyone died in the
Not
process.
enough
Yeah,
rage.
that's the way it goes.
Probably the most infamous wielder of the artifact was a sadistic man named Inquisitor Halbin. Within the
I need to
dark
get
recesses
closer.
of the Scarlet
My
Monastery's
ability isn't ready
dungeons, Halbin used the staff
can't
to
do
torture
that yet.
forsaken prisoners. The
Okay.
Inquisitor inflicted whatever pain was necessary to
guy's an
extract
asshole.
information from these prisoners. But the more he tormented the Forsaken, the more he learned to loathe every fiber in their rotten being. No longer was Halbin torturing Forsaken for information. Now, he was doing it just out of
ability isn't
sick,
ready
sadistic
beats the
pleasure.
shit out of
One
him.
night during an intense torture session, his hatred for the undead dominated his mind, breaking his focus on wielding Light's Wrath. This split second of broken concentration was all it took for the torturer's weapon to betray him. Burning holy light engulfed the torture chamber. Inquisitor Halbin died a slow, painful death, and his tortured screams echoed throughout his chambers in the same roaring cacophony as his victims. Okay, so this is where our story falls apart. Somehow, someway, that is not explained, Light's Wrath fell into the possession of a troll priest named Jakar.
What?
She used the weapon in an expedition to Northrend to destroy the Scourge,
How the-
but after some time, she lost control of the weapon and
And
it
blew herself
permanently
up.
blinded her, but it didn't kill her, and she
Oh.
abandoned the artifact in Northrend. And
well-
then somehow, someway, the weapon found its way
Huh?
back to the Eastern Kingdoms,
What?
and it cycled through the hands of multiple well-meaning priests and paladins. Yeah, they all died.
Okay.
Then, a group of hooded horsemen from the Tower of Karazhan, called the Dark Riders, tried to claim the staff in Duskwood.
I got it.
When they touched the staff, a pure wave of holy energy echoed from the weapon, and it sent them running away. And by the way, yeah, WoW copies a lot of concepts from other universes, but the Dark Riders are literally just the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings, aka the guys called the Black Riders, and like,
The thing is, look, guys, I
It's too
mean,
far away.
it was a
Not
good
ready yet.
idea, right? I mean, shit, it's a good idea. You might as well use it. I mean, What are you gonna have to? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That seems good enough for me. Seems like it's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
Where do you cross the line
Ability
between
isn't ready.
referencing something and just blatantly copying something? Okay, anyways,
Right
back to
here.
some weird random story beats. And then somehow, some way, the staff fell into the hands of the Twilight Hammer Cult,
Holy
who
shit.
tried to suck out
Inventory is
all the
full.
holy energy from the staff. But the Kirintor mage Issarin, who made it his life's mission to track down Light's Wrath,
He got it.
intervened.
But don't tell me he's about to use it and get himself killed.
With the staff in his possession,
No
the
way.
mage conjured a protective spell over the staff.
Oh.
Yeah, killed him instantly. Despite this,
No.
Light's Wrath was transported to the Nexus Vault, located within the Nexus in Northrend. This is where the player character
Okay.
Priest comes in.
Alright, never
When they
mind.
arrive, the Nexus is
Yep.
currently occupied by Imperials trying to hold
Got
the
it.
power of the Nexus and artifacts within the vaults. And this is the disappointing part of our story.
Right.
The
I
rest
can't
of the
carry
quest
it
line
anymore.
is pretty much a direct copy of the Arcane Mage quest line for their artifact weapon. And
Yeah.
the origin of Light's Wrath is only told to players through text, leaving the story
Oh.
totally unknown to most players.
Wow.
Which is a shame, because it's one of the most outrageous and enjoyable little stories within
What a
Warcraft.
surprise.
And honestly, it just gave me an excuse to talk about the Scarlet Crusade some more.
Yeah. And by talk about the Scarlet Crusade some more, what he really means is use Whitemane Rule 34 art for quick bait again. Which, to be honest, I'm not complaining. That's fine with me. Yep. It's okay. Yeah, it's a good video. I thought it was a good video. I had no idea about any of this shit, man. I really had no idea. Bait me Taddy, yeah, smart. Yeah, he's a smart man, absolutely. This is a good video. I didn't even know that's what the staff was from. I thought it was just some fucking, like, it's some, it's some pretty shit,
Not enough
right?
rage.
So you've got the pretty shit. It's got, like, stained glass windows, like a church. It looks kind of cool. That's about all I thought about. Yeah, that's about it. If only storytelling was as good as it was in these videos. I know, man. That's what I think is so sad. It's just like, I wish that they were better. Yeah, this is from Platinum WoW. Give them a sub, give it a like. This video came out kind of recently, so it'll definitely help out. I get Ashbringer strong and Light's Wrath is impressive, and that match the sheer strength and power of Whitemane's thighs. Okay. All right. I feel like everybody knows we're getting a dragon expansion next, so let's watch this.
You can't get more fantasy than dragons. And
I'm out of range.
sometimes in the
Ready yet.
fantasy universe.
Dragons with big
Dragons are some of the
dicks.
most powerful beings on Azeroth, who have an extremely in-depth lore that begins all the way back to the very foundation of the world. How did these magnificent beasts come to be? What is their purpose? And what exactly are they doing in the modern day? Sit
Nothing.
back
I need to get
and let's
closer.
learn everything you need to
ability
know
isn't ready
about
yet.
dragons.
Alrighty, boys, let's do it.
Rage.
Damn! Odin
Our
defeated
story
Ragnaros.
begins during the Ordering of Azeroth. The Tidekeepers waged war with the untamed elements on the planet and banished them to their respective elemental worlds.
Got it?
But not all
Inventory
of
is
the
full.
elements were imprisoned. Some of these rogue elements developed into the first ever proto-dragons.
What? I didn't know that.
The majority
Wait,
of
the elementals turned into... How the fuck does that happen? What?
information we know
Do
about
that
these
yet.
ancient
Not
times
ready yet.
comes from the novel Dawn of the Aspects. And in this book, there's easily one of
Okay.
the most horrifying and monstrous villains that has never really gotten the respect he deserves
Galakrond.
in game.
That's the
Galakrond,
big boy.
the father of dragons, was a monolithic beast that dwarfed the rest of his kind. One day, an unquenchable hunger dominated his body, and he suddenly began to terrorize the other dragons.
Yep.
He performed the unthinkable
He
and
ate
started
'em.
to cannibalize the other proto-dragons. This had dramatic effects on his body, and he began to develop mutations like growing limbs and eyes all over his
Yup.
now decaying body. To put in perspective how big Galakrond was, His roar had the ability to cause devastating avalanches, and his wings were so large that the other dragons would mistake it for thunder.
He was a big boy.
His breath also had the ability to raise slain proto-dragons into undeath, which were called the Not Living, and their bite would infect other dragons who develop similar unrelenting
I never knew
taste
this.
for dragon flesh, and yet, they're literally zombie dragons.
What the fuck?
The Titan
Holy
Keepers
shit.
and their surviving proto-dragons teamed up to defeat this gargantuan beast. These heroes included the Titan Keeper Tyr, Osdormu, Sarah, and Alex Straza.
That's cool. That's a... Oh, he dead.
During one of the battles, Tyr's hand was bitten clean off by Galakron. The Titan Keeper would later get a new silver hand as a replacement.
God damn.
This glorious, heroic battle would become legend for the people of Azeroth.
Not
and
enough
Tyr's
rage.
silver hand became the symbol for the Knights of the Silver Hand Paladins thousands and thousands and thousands of years later.
Holy fuck, I never even knew that. So wait a second. So the main symbol for paladins is a symbol of them losing? Because that's the main thing that they have. Is like, this is the one thing that there's, it's that they lost? The guy lost his arm? Oh my god. God. Paladins, man, what do you expect?
Galakron would later be defeated by the team of proto-dragons when Malagos flew inside of Galakron's mouth with a giant boulder and freezed it in his throat. Then Neltharion flew inside his mouth and blasted a zombie dragon down his throat to push the boulder in further.
What?
Because Galakron has little tiny proto-dragon arms. They were just too small to perform CPR on himself, and he choked to death and died.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of a crazy and strange death for the biggest dragon in Warcraft
That's
history.
so dumb. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. What?
That ability.
Bozo. True. Oh my god. I don't even know. Yeah. Like, you know who had a badass fucking story was Li Shin. Li Shin, that they had to literally use a nuclear bomb to kill him. Because they had tried everything else and it didn't work.
Need more rage.
The final resting
Yes, keep in mind, guys, this is all part of the jailer's
Not
plan.
enough rage.
place for the Father of Dragons can still be found in the frozen tundra of
I can't
Dragonblight.
carry
But the
anymore.
funny thing is, Galakron has a bunch of more screen time in Hearthstone compared to World of Warcraft.
Shut up. This
but
is so dumb.
Maybe we'll see that change in a future expansion.
I think the problem is, like, you can never have a character like Galakron in the game and have it feel fulfilling. Because it's the same as, like, Yogg Saron, N'Zoth, Death Wish to a lesser extent, and there's, like, other games. It's the same thing I said before, like, with, fucking, Galactus. Like, how can you have Galactus in a movie and have it be in any way relatable? Because it's just like that, the cosmic scale of it is so high. And it's like, yeah, even Sargeras, for another example, yeah, you can't really have him in the story. It's like Galakron is like Lord of the Rings has like the Anacalgon the Black, which is like the largest dragon of like all time, right? It's basically the same general story. And I feel like you can't really have a character like that in the story and have beating it feel fulfilling. Or the Jailor. Jailor's not that big. Cosmic horror. It's like, I don't know if it's cosmic horror or not. I don't know. Make him like his own mile? Maybe. Literally had a guy who killed half the universe with a snap. Yeah, but like that was like a fucking right? He just had like, he put in like, you know, A, X, you know, 3, 4, W, spacebar, enter, and then, you know, what happened. Yeah, Bahamut's another one, right? Is like you can't really have like Bahamut at full power because he was so big. Like the only time you can fight Bahamut is like when he's like he's already dead. You're fighting like his like a spirit kind of.
Displaying their awesome power The Titan Keepers were impressed by the 5 proto-dragons that defeated Galakrond. The raw power of the Titans was infused into these 5 proto-dragons so that they could become the Power Ranger defenders of Azeroth and protect the planet from any future threats. All of the Keepers agreed to strengthen these proto-dragons, except for Odin, because he's kind of an asshole.
Fuck him.
But they did it anyways. Ionar, the Titan of Life, empowered Alexstrasza and Ysera to protect all living creatures.
Girl power.
Morganon, the Titan of Magic, empowered Malygos to protect the powerful arcane that dwelled across Azeroth. Amenthul, High Father of the Pantheon, empowered Nozdormu to guard the very fabric of time and space.
Damn.
And finally, Khaz'goroth, the Titan shaper.
Man, you really messed up here,
gave
man.
Therion the power over the earth.
You fucked up.
And whatever dwelled beneath.
Oh, is that actually
With
a new
their
version of
earth
Deathwing?
and
So that's what... I wonder if this is like what Deathwing was supposed to look like before he got corrupted.
whatever dwelled
Lord of
beneath.
Dirt. Yeah, no wonder he got mad.
With their powers combined, this council of beings called the Aspects became the first ever fully fledged dragons to ever grace Azeroth, and now it's their mission to be the world's eternal defenders.
But like, what do the dragons ever do? Like, what have the dragons ever done that matter? Like, who gives a shit? AQ? Yeah, I guess AQ. Like, that's the first thing I can think of. AQ, yeah.
When the Aspects were granted this
drop
power,
loot?
in the sky, there was a rare celestial event called the Embrace, where Azeroth's 2 moons embraced one another. The only time a dragon can be transformed into an Aspect is during this event, which only happens every 430 years.
I hope that they, like, wouldn't it be badass if, like, whenever the patch, like, the dragon, expansion comes out, the new eclipse happens, and, Rathian becomes an Aspect, and it changes the entire skybox and lighting for everybody in the whole world? Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
Next, the Keepers help forge the dragons a sanctuary called Wimrest Temple. This giant tower would serve as a meeting place for all of the dragonflights and be the heart
I fell
of
off
dragon
that tower
culture.
3 times.
One of the many parts of dragon culture is something called a Visage Day. Visage Day is when a dragon comes to age and they perform a ceremony atop the Wimrest Temple to choose their humanoid form. Dragons have the ability to transform into any of the races on Azeroth, and it's typically done so that they can spy on the mortal races across the planet to make sure they aren't doing anything nefarious. Or they just do it for practical reasons.
But
In
like,
these
that's not even really true. Like, every time that there's
Help
a
you find
dragon
something?
that is in a human form, most of the time, it's a negative. It's like Onyxia, Deathwing. Like, it's always bad. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's... Alexstrasza? Yeah, that's true.
Dragons knew how to transform into these races
I guess
before they
Chromie's an
even
exception.
existed because,
Farewell.
bronze dragon flight and
Nefarious?
tiny,
Yeah,
tiny
nefarious.
stuff, okay? But here's the thing. Dragons are not just limited to humanoid forms. They can turn into anything. And I mean anything. There's this one part in the Dawn of the Aspects book where Alexstrasza just disguises herself as a giant-ass tree. Okay, now let's go through each of these dragon flights in more detail.
That's so stupid. That is so that's so dumb. Like, I'm sorry, I think that's so dumb. No, it's so stupid. Top tier writing. Some of the writing in WoW and like the like the literary device, like these devices they use are just like they're so stupid. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, like why couldn't they just like make her like if she could transform, can't she just make her boobs bigger? Like, just do that. Like, I don't turn into a tree. Who cares? Nobody wants to see her be a tree. The fuck was this? Who thought of that bullshit? I don't like to eat on stream.
Need help?
So I was taking a piss. I was
Safe
holding
try.
my dick with one hand, and I was eating my cake with the other hand. Why? Because I want to eat. I don't like eating on stream.
And talk about exactly what they do. Starting with the red dragon flight and the tree transforming queen of dragons herself, Alexstrasza.
Yeah,
cycle of life is reborn anew.
The Red Dragonflight are the protectors of all life on Azeroth. This means that they're the ones to deal with any dangerous, overwhelming threats on the planet. They also restore devastated lands and protect ancient artifacts. One of the special abilities they have is
But
that
I never did that, though. Every time something bad happened, the dragons didn't do nothing. Like, in my opinion, yeah, Arthas, but they didn't do nothing to Arthas. That was Sylvanas that got his ass. Remember Deathwing? Yeah. They played Nordrassil, didn't they? Like, man, I guess there's some things, but like, when does this ever happen in the game? When is there? They burned undeads in Wrath of the Lich King to Blight. All right. They're not that useless. But like, if the Blight's so bad, then why was Jaina able to just do the ice shit? You know what I mean?
their fiery breath can either bring horrible destruction or rejuvenating life. We can see the healing effects of the fire firsthand during the Wrathgate cinematic, where they scorched the Alliance commander, Bolvar Fordragon, with their healing flames. I mean, doesn't Bolvar look healed? Just ignore the horrific charring all over his body, that seared his flesh beyond recognition. Look, he's healed, okay? Trust me. To this day, the Red Dragonflight and their Dragon Queen continue to watch over all life on Azeroth and protect it from certain death.
Before battle, I always assure my forces that through the fire and the flames, we'll carry on.
What?
Time!
Did she actually say that? No way. No way. Did she really? Oh my god. No, it's so fucking funny.
May pass, but the dream is eternal.
The other dragons of life are called the Green Dragonflight, who you don't see very often when exploring Azeroth. That's because this dragonflight mainly resides within the ethereal plane known as the Emerald Dream. This plane of existence is one of flourishing life that represents the world of Azeroth if it was never altered by intelligent beings. One of the special abilities green dragons have is they got that melatonin dragon breath that has the ability to put their enemies to sleep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Green dragons try to avoid combat to the best of their ability and pacify their enemies rather than kill them.
Yep.
That being said, in the dream, the Green Dragonflight works alongside the druids to control the ebb and flow of nature and protect it from a horrifying presence.
The Emerald Nightmare, Xavius.
A sickening corruption called the Emerald Nightmare constantly festers throughout the dream. This twisted dark magic alters life into a horrific mockery of itself and brings only madness and corruption.
Need help?
I thought this was really cool. I always did. I thought this was badass.
Go with honor,
And you know
friend.
how like you use the Shadow Priest dagger and it makes that little tiny bit of corruption at the end of the area in the fucking Emerald Nightmare? That was so cool, man. I loved it. The Rift of Alm? Yeah.
The origin of this dark power comes from the old gods and Xavius, the Nightmare Lord, who orchestrates the spreading of corruption across the dream. All of the hostile green dragons we see in-game from classic WoW to modern day have pretty much all been corrupted by the Nightmare. And even the aspect Ysera was cursed by the Nightmare, and in Legion, she was put down by the player characters.
Damn. This was really cool. It was so fucking badass, man. Holy shit, it was cool.
The Green Dragon aspect would return in the Shadowlands expansion in the Zone of Art.
By the way, they have made Tyrande way hotter. Like, I just saw her in that cinematic. I feel like Tyrande might actually be the hottest female in the game right now. I really think so.
I don't have a target.
Which is like the Emerald Dream, but for dead creatures. And she helps Tyrande fight Sylvanas and stuff.
What are you roaring at?
I will teach you ignorant children just how little you know of magic.
The Blue Dragonflight, led by Malygos, is an enclave of dragons committed to protecting the use of magic on Azeroth and making sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Malygos and his Blue Dragonflight went dormant for thousands and thousands of years after a major defeat I'll talk about later in this video during the War of the Ancients. And the dragon aspect was weakened, depressed, and a little bit insane. But then again, who isn't? Malygos would fully regain his power and sanity during the events told in the comic book series Shadowwind.
I just you know what sucks, man? Is it like what a comic book fucking series? Where's this shit in the game? Like, you know what they should just do? Is they should just they should do an expansion where they actually don't add anything into the game. They just put the stuff that's in the books in the game. Just just go back, add this into the game, and then we can move forward. Because I never knew why Malygos was crazy. I was like, I don't know, why is he mad? Like, what's he mad for? Just tell him stop. Like, why are we killing him? Like, I mean, he's got really good boots, yeah. But
Need help?
Still, why would I do this?
Farewell.
The books with just some wonderful artwork, huh? In the series, Terragosa, one of the members of the Blue Dragonflight, brings some nether drakes to the Blue Dragonflight domain called the Nexus in hopes of balancing the magical energies inside of them. Instead, these nether dragons try and take over the Nexus, and then Malygos eats all of them, which then restores his sanity and his power. After spending 10,000 years dormant...
Bro, who writes this? Like, who writes this? Like, what the fuck? This doesn't even make any sense. Like, why is this even happening? It's like the story it's so silly.
Malygos realized that he really wasn't doing a good job of protecting the magic across Azeroth. The puny mortals on the planet had been abusing the power he was supposed to protect, and had summoned the Burning Legion on Azeroth multiple times and fractured the world in the process. Malygos acted swiftly and started to divert all of the magic across Azeroth's ley lines and suck them up into the Nexus. This violent siphoning of magic had dramatic effects on Azeroth's world soul and caused irreparable damage. Furthermore, the mages of Dalaran noticed that their spells did not have the power they once had. You see, this was Malygos' biggest mistake, getting between a mage and their magic. The Kirin Tor mages said, "Fuck you, you goddamn scaly son of a bitch," and teleported their entire city from Hillsbrad foothills and into the air above Crystal Song Forest in Northrend.
Wait,
these
so
mages
that's
then
why
put
it
their war
happened?
against the Lich.
Whoa! That's why they moved Dalaran? Bro, I thought it was a plot device.
Well met.
Hey
See you
I
around.
thought they were like, yeah, so why do we move Dalaran? Yep, that's right, we moved it. Why'd you do it? Well, it's over there now, so here we go. Let's move on. That was it. I didn't know there was a whole story about this. Jesus.
King on hold and teamed up with the red, bronze, and green dragonflights and the Horde and the Alliance and started the Nexus War.
Okay.
While Malygos may have had some valid criticisms about the mortals on Azeroth, destroying the world while trying to keep the magic away from them was no way to solve the problem, and he was defeated within his domain called the Eye of Eternity.
That's right. I beat him, and whenever I was I raid led this whole thing. I raid led the first kill on our server of Malygos Tin Man, and after we killed him, I quote accidentally linked my Champion of the Frozen Waste title into trade chat, and everybody was talking shit. Like, they're like, you fucking, you're just trying to brag about this. I'm like, that's right, I am. I'm better than you, and you're not even close to as good as me. I'm a Champion of the Frozen Waste, and you're a bitch. So there it is. And like, I was talking match as impressive. Yeah, back in the day. It was a long, long fucking time ago. But yeah, it was a good time. Then you woke up. Nah, bro, I got the screenshots. You go watch the video. It was the same thing. I was so happy about that, man.
Unthinkable! The mortals will destroy everything. My sister, what have you...
I did what I had to, brother. You You gave me no alternative.
But Malygos...
And so ends the Nexus War.
But Malygos was right. The humans were fucking everything up. Like, of course he was trying to take away their magic. Like, wait a sec. Yeah, Malygos was right. Like, they were summoning in the Burning Legion. They had, like, the whole Sundering thing. Like, it was really bad. Like, Jesus.
This resolution pains me deeply.
Malygos did
but the
nothing
destruction, the monumental loss of life had to end. Regardless of Malygos's recent
What about the Burning
transgressions,
Crusades life?
I will mourn his loss.
I won't. Check out the sick new dragon mount I got. Cool!
Damn.
The Blue Dragonflight then had another aspect leader called Caligos for a brief moment in time, but now, in the modern day, the Blue Dragonflight's numbers have dwindled to such a low amount that the flight was abandoned altogether.
What?
The surviving dragons went their separate ways and are no longer unified by a
That's
single
sad.
cause.
Wow. I always thought the Bronze Dragon fight was the coolest one. I really did. I thought it was the coolest fucking one, man. How it's like, yeah, it's so badass. Because, like, one thing, like, I usually hate time travel stuff. I've said this many times, like, time travel cringe. No, not time travel again. But, like, something about them, I like the idea of the Infinite Dragonflight, how they're trying to change history, and, like, Nozdormu is trying, like, even, like, the idea of, fucking, like, the opposite, like, the evil version of Nozdormu, whatever the fuck his name is, I forgot even what it was, and, it's, like, where he's trying to predict, you know, or stop the end of his life. Murzon, yeah, Murzon, there you go. That's so fucking cool to me, I love it.
Time is a tangled web. Try not to dwell on all the loose ends.
That's what Steve should say every single time that we call out the retcon. That's honestly what he should say. Like, every single time that, like, they have a problem with, like, they get, like, oh, but what, wait, I thought Arthas, wait, time is a tangle web. Nope.
Nozdormu, the Lord of Time, and the Bronze Dragonflight have the ability to travel through time to the past, present, and future. Their ultimate mission is to maintain the true timeline on Azeroth. Whatever that means. Generally, the Bronze Dragonflight does not involve themselves in events on Azeroth unless they are absolutely needed. Some examples include when Nozdormu blessed Nordrassil to give the Kaldorite elves eternal life, or when the Bronze Dragonflight played a role in the War of the Shifting Sands.
Yeah, they're so cool. But
the Bronze Dragonflight's real enemy is the Infinite Dragonflight. This is a flight of dragons corrupted by the old gods and are trying to manipulate the very fabric of time and space for their dark masters to be victorious.
I find that to be so stupid. That is so stupid to me. Oh, they're manipulated by the old gods. Why? Why not have it be where it's like, in my mind, I think what is a way cooler story? The way cooler story is the Bronze Dragonflight dragons that look forward into time to see their own death and the end of times, and they're trying desperately to stop it and to, like, prevent it and alter the timeline, where the Bronze Dragonflight has to stay the course and keep everything the way that it needs to be in the timeline.
Honor, friend.
You know what I mean? Like, that's way fucking cooler than, like, oh, and also, like, it's like there's like an existential level of philosophy into it, and it's really interesting. But fucking, oh, well, there, well, you got so there was the, you know, the tentacle boys, right? Okay. So, you know how they corrupt stuff? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you see, you see where I'm going, right? Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what kind of garbage is that? Like, it's just, there's no, like, timeline altering. Like, obviously, like, Bronze Dragonflight, what's, like, kind of like a vague parallel with Bronze Dragonflight is Alexander in Final Fantasy. Is that the Alexander ending was really good because it had that existential level to it. You see what I mean? Like and the existential level is the most interesting thing about it. Like the rest of it is just boring. It's made for a 12-year-old demographic.